Good morning, children. You are discussing about the continuation of our chapter chemical coordination in animals. Till now we discussed about the what we call coordination through nervous system. But here hormones, how the hormones coordinate in animals, we are going to discuss. First of all, why this chemical coordination is arised and how this is helpful to the animals we are discussing. Okay, first introduction you should listen. This is the introduction of what we call introduction of chemical coordination. First, how the system is helpful and what is this system. In the next what we called concept we will discuss. First one, whenever the message will come to in the nervous system, receptors are there. Those receptors, what will happen? Sensory neurons through the receptors, sense organ receptors to sensory neurons to nerve impulses to what you call central nervous system. Central nervous system means what is it? Brain and what you call spinal cord. Okay, so their brain analysis will be takes place. Then that information will go to effectors, muscles and glands. This information message through sense organ receptors to nerve impulses to central nervous system to effectors, muscles and glands. This is the very quick process. What you call very quick process. Nervous coordination in animals is a very quick. What is this one? Nerve impulse is there by nervous system. By nervous system, cells which connected only what you called transfers the what you called nerve impulse or information to the CNS. These cells which connected by the nervous system only involved in the transportation of nerve impulse. Such cells after generation and transmission of nerve impulse take some time to rest. Very, very important. What is that? Such cells after generation, which cells? The cells which connected by nervous system after generation and transmission of nerve impulse take some time to rest their mechanisms before a new impulse is generated and transmitted. While this is resting, this is the way most important. So nerve impulses will cells which connected by nervous system only will transfer. These such cells after generation and transmission of nerve impulse take some time to rest their mechanisms before any impulse generated and transmitted. So at the time of resting, what will happen? The cells cannot continuously generate and transmit electrical impulse. Why? They have to take the rest. Otherwise, they can't what you call transmit the electrical impulse. So that is the reason that resting time also coordination is important. Otherwise, problem will come. So in the resting stage of cells which connected by nervous system, another means of communication between cells is there. That another means of communications between cells are commonly called, that is only we are calling chemical coordination system. That is only called chemical coordination. Do you understand my point or not? Cells which connected by nervous system continuously after generation transmission of nerve impulse takes some time to rest. Their mechanism before a new impulse is generated and transmitted. At the time of rest, so who will communicate and who will coordinate? That is the point we have to remember. Cells cannot continuously generate and transmit the electrical impulses. So that time when the cells which connected with nervous system taking the rest, another means of communication and coordination is there between the cells. What is that system? Another means of communication or coordination between the cells, that communication system only called, what do you call that communication system only called? Chemical coordination. That only we are discussing. Understand or not? That is only called chemical coordination. So we are entering into the chemical coordination, how this chemical coordination process will be there and how it will be useful to the animals we are going to discuss. Okay, children, observe very carefully. What are those? So chemical the cells. What is the first one? What you have to remember? The cells. Okay, these cells, what will we do? Chemicals. Okay, they release the chemicals directly to which one? The blood. Directly to the blood. And other body tissue cells means these are what will we do? The tissue cells. The tissue cells, they will go. Okay, tissue cells. So here what will be there? Some receptors will be there in the blood. Some receptors. So where these receptors are present? These receptors on the surfaces of the cell, very important, on the surfaces of the cell or in the cytoplasm of the cell. In the cytoplasm of the cell. Okay, this is a point you should have to remember. Okay, the message is transmitted and what you call chemical produces. So this main important thing is mainly chemicals. Because of chemicals only message will be transferred. Message will be transferred to the target tissue cells by the help of chemicals. That point you should have to remember. This chemical communication, the chemical communication, okay, chemical communication process is very slow. Is slow process. That's the point you should have to remember. Next, hormones. What are the chemicals I'm telling? Hormones. Mainly those chemicals are called hormones and secreted by, these are secreted by, these hormones secreted by which one? Which one? Endocrine glands. Endocrine glands, secreted by endocrine glands. So that's why this system is called, what do you call this system is called? What do you call? Endocrine system. What do you call this system? Endocrine system. This point you should have to remember. So these two systems operate in a coordinated, what is called, way in many occasions. Who are those? Nervous system, very important, nervous system plus endocrine system. Okay, endocrine system coordinate each other. Coordinate, very important. Coordinate, okay, coordinate each other and operate. Coordinate and operate the functions. Operates the functions. Very important. Okay, so this point you should have to remember. Okay, so this endocrine system functions. Endocrine system functions under control of, functions are under which one? Under control of nervous system. Under control of nervous system. This point you should have to remember. Means nervous system is only main. So, but this endocrine system is helping to nervous system. Both coordinate each other and performs the different functions. That one you should have to remember. So that's why this totally termed as, what is the termed? Neuroendocrine system. Neuroendocrine system. Okay, children, observe very carefully. In the impulse is there. So this impulse reaches the cells. Then cells secretes the, what you call, chemicals. That message will go to the blood. Through the blood, the receptors. Very important this point. Without receptors, message cannot. The receptors of tissue cells. Where the receptors will be on the surfaces of the cell or in the cytoplasm of the cell, these receptors are present. Suppose this is a cell. Here receptor is there or here the receptors are there. So hormone will be come and attach here or directly will go inside of the cytoplasm of the cell. The message will be go through the which one? By the help of which one? Chemicals only. So that's why this is called what you called chemical coordination. But this chemical communication is very slow process, very slow process. And what are the chemicals? What are the chemicals we are here involving in the chemical coordination? Those are hormones. The most important point is hormones. Hormones secreted by which one? Endocrine glands. So that's why the hormones secreted by endocrine glands, no, these hormones only mainly helpful for the coordination. That's why this system is called endocrine glands, no, that's why this system is called endocrine system. So nervous system and endocrine system togetherly coordinate and operate the functions. But very important. But endocrine system functions are under which one? Under control of nervous system only. That's why togetherly what we will call neuroendocrine system. This system is called neuroendocrine system. Neuro means nervous, endo means hormones. Togetherly for functioning. That's why it will be called neuroendocrine system. So now what are the exact differences between the nervous system and what you called endocrine system we are going to discuss. Okay children, divide the two columns. Nervous system one column, and another column you should have to divide into hormonal system or hormones. Nervous system or nervous information, hormones information or hormonal information. These points you should have to remember. Nervous information, hormonal information. So first point. So how this information will be go? Electrical impulse, very important point. Electrical impulse along axons it will be pass along axons, and as a chemical across synapse, what is called synapse. Synapse, when you know very well, communication gap, that chemicals are helpful to transport that electrical impulse. But here chemical messengers sent, this message is sent to the which one? Sent as a chemical messenger, means the chemicals only mainly helpful for transportation of stimulus through bloodstream via this point you should have to remember. Next, it is very rapidly travel, which one? The nervous information travel very rapidly, just in milliseconds. But what about hormonal information? Information travels very slowly. This point you should have to remember. Next one. This information is directed to which one? Directed to specific receptors. Okay, you know very well, receptors important. Or a few nerve fibers, okay, few nerve fibers, gland cells or other neurons. The points you should have to remember. Gland cells or other neurons. It is addressed by name. It is addressed by name. Okay, particular address will be there where the impulse is going. But what about this? So this hormonal information is spread throughout the body by blood. By blood only. This point you should have to remember. And from which the target cell organs to organs. Target. Okay, target. Very, very important. Cells, target. So cells are organs. Cells are organs. By the blood only it will be go. It is as whom it may concern. So how it will be concerned? Whom it may concern. Whom it may concern. So where it will be go and perform the function, that one will be there. So it response is, so listen very carefully children, we'll listen, some more points are there. What is that one? Nervous system, electrical impulse along axons, the message, the nervous information through electrical impulse along axons through the chemical across the membrane. So you know very well this is the what you called synapse. Here the chemicals I said or not? What you called neurotransmitters, acetylcholine. So these are the vesicles like that. We discussed synapse. This is called synapse. Like that, the information will be go from one axon to another dendrite. They travel very rapidly within what you call milliseconds. Fast is very milliseconds. Information is directed to specific receptors. So information is directed to specific receptors or nerve fibers. To which one? Gland cells or other neurons. It is what you called addressed by name. Where this impulse is going on, how it is going on, from where that will be, everything will be addressed by the name. But hormonal information, it sends as a chemical messenger through only chemicals only by the bloodstream. So information travels very slowly. Here just milliseconds, very rapidly, here very slowly. So here it information directed by receptors, but here what? By the blood to the target cells and organs. Okay, what you can say, whom it may concern. So who it will be, to whom it will concern, that there itself it will be go and will be attached. So like that, hormonal information, nervous information, differences is there. So next point about this one, we are going to discuss some more points. What are the some more points you have to remember? What is that one? Some more points. It gets responses immediately. It gets responses immediately. So response is immediately. So very fast response will be there. I am calling, you are responding. That is called nervous. But hormone usually very slowly respond. The organs very slowly respond, and it affects the its effects are short-lived. Effects are short-lived. Effects are what? Short-lived. But here effects are generally more prolonged. Effects are more prolonged. More long time it will be present. More prolonged. These are only main differences between what you call prolonged. Okay, prolonged. These are only main difference between the nervous information and the hormone information. It gets responses immediately. It gets the responses very slowly. The effects are short-lived. I am calling, you are responding. That is nervous. But in the hormones, it should have to release from the gland. That should have to go to the organ. Then organ will be face the changes by that particular hormone. That organs will be changed. The changes will take place because of that hormone. Then those will be, the changes will be very permanently will be present. So this is the hormonal information. This is nervous information. So these are the major differences between nervous information and hormonal information. So these hormones, from where these hormones are coming. So we are entering into the concept. Now we are entering into the chemical coordination in animals. Chemical coordination in animals. So in the next class, what you called just a concept is there that the endocrine glands are also called hormones. From where we are hormones, okay, they are coming from where they are coming, endocrine glands, okay, these endocrine glands. These endocrines are also called ductless glands. They are also called ductless glands. Means the secretions, their secretions directly enter into the bloodstream. So hormones directly enter into the where? Into the bloodstream. So that is important. What is a hormone? Hormone definition what? A variety of what you call, it's a chemical substance. Hormone means what? Chemical substance. Hormone is a chemical substance. So variety of hormones will be released by endocrines. Variety of hormones. How much amount? This is also very important. Very trace amount will be released out from the very minute, very less amount will be released out from the glands, from the glands. So how can you define the hormones? So hormone definition. So exact definition of hormone I am writing here. Hormone, chemical substance. What is the first one? It's a chemical substance. The most important one, it's a chemical substance secreted in trace amounts, very less amounts, secreted in trace amounts by endocrine glands, okay, endocrine glands, and are the means of, what is the use of? Means of information transmission. This is the what you called hormone, like that we can say. Okay, children. So first what we have to discuss is, so hormones are related to secreted by endocrine glands. Endocrine glands don't have any ducts. Directly they secretes the hormones into blood because no ducts. So that's why they are called ductless glands. The secretions enter into the blood. They are chemical substances. So variety of chemical substances will be released by endocrine glands, means variety of hormones, very less amount, very less, minute or less. So how can you define perfectly about hormones? It's a chemical substance secreted by trace amounts by endocrine glands, means of information and transmission. These hormones only main helpful for the information transmission. So next class we will discuss about what we will discuss, the characteristic features. Record characteristic features. These points, features we will of hormones, we will discuss in the next class. Okay, children. Thank you very much. Thank you.